Hello NEET aspirants. Welcome back to your daily dose of NEET preparation, where we don't just learn the facts, we understand that why behind them. Today's question is a statement based question, where the statement 1 is kingdoms represent the broadest categories in the taxonomic hierarchy. And statement 2, kingdom Animalia includes all animals from various phyla, and Plantae includes all plants from various divisions. Now, before answering the question, let's learn some relevant concepts behind this question. Taxonomic hierarchy. First is taxonomic hierarchy. I have already told you the taxonomic hierarchy. Hierarchy means sequence. Sequence first comes kingdom, next phyla or division, class, order, family, genus, and species. You have to remember this in order. Genus and species everyone will remember. Kingdom everyone will remember. Only thing you have to remember in order is these four. PCOF, or other mnemonics like King Philip's came over for good soup, like that. This is the taxonomic hierarchy. Now taxon. Each one is here is called taxon. Kingdom is a taxon, class is a taxon, order is a taxon. What are the other names for taxon? If you see, this is called a taxon. Every level, this is one level, this is one level, this is one level. Each level, taxon, rank, category, group, level. All these are names for taxons. These are the different names of taxons. Species is one taxon. It is also called rank. It is also called a category. It is also called a group. It is also called a level. That's how. These are broad categories, but these categories are subdivided into subcategories. Like phyla is divided into subphyla, division into subdivision, class into subclass, order into suborder, family into subfamily, like that. But why again categories are divided into subcategories? This is very important. There is a direct line from the textbook. Why subcategories are divided? Why categories are divided into subcategories? To facilitate more sound and scientific placement of various taxa. To facilitate more sound and scientific placement of taxa. What it means is, for example, imagine you have one cupboard and you want to keep all your top wear in that cupboard, like all shirts, t-shirts, party wear, and everything you want to keep in there. That cupboard is meant for this top wear. That is category. But now, for easier isolation of things, whenever you want to pick something, you wanted to keep the process easy. So you have further subdivided the top wear into t-shirts, one row, and shirts in another row, and party wear in another row. This is called like subcategories. You are categorizing further. That is subcategories. Like that only, same these animal classification, plant classifications. Also categories are divided into subcategories to facilitate more sound and scientific placement. with a logic, scientific placement of taxa. That is why subcategories are created. Now we will understand some principles in this taxonomic hierarchy, how they were made like that, right? Now we will see the principles behind it. Again, I will write this: kingdom, phyla, class, order, family, genus, and species. Now, here write similarities between organisms. Similarities between organisms, differences between organisms, and relationship between organisms. If you see, for kingdom, another one important thing is kingdom is the highest rank, right? Species is the lowest rank. Well, highest taxonomic groups, lower taxonomic groups. If you see, these three are lower taxonomic groups, like lower taxa, and these three are higher taxa. This is highest or broadest, right? That is the thing. Now, similarities. In kingdom, similarities between organisms. In kingdom, similarities are least. And among species, similarities between organisms is the most or highest. Coming to, as we go down from kingdom to species, what happens to similarities? Similarity, as we are coming from kingdom to species, similarities between organisms increases. If we go from species to kingdom, similarities between organisms decreases. In the same way, differences exactly opposite. In kingdom, similar differences between organisms. When it comes to kingdoms, differences between organisms will be most or highest. Differences between organisms are least. Right? Now, when coming from kingdom to species, differences decreases. When coming from species to kingdom, differences between organisms increases. Okay, understood? Now coming to relationship between organisms. In kingdom, to establish relationship between organisms is very difficult. Whereas in species, establishing relationship between organisms is easiest. These are some principles which you have to understand, right? Now come to the question. Here statement 1 is, kingdoms represent the broadest category in the taxonomic hierarchy, which I have already told you. Kingdom is the highest and broadest category. So statement 1 is true. Statement 2. Kingdom Animalia includes all animals from various phyla. Plantae includes all plants from various divisions. Here he was telling like Animalia kingdom includes all animals from various phyla. Plantae includes all plants from various divisions. Is this correct? Yes, this is correct. But why these are there are separate names? Because this difference originated historically because of one simple fact that zoologists and botanists worked separately on classifying organisms. Basically, the term phyla is derived from Greek, which means race or tribe, whereas division came from a Latin word dividere, means to divide. Phyla is first used in animal classification by Ernst Haeckel. Whereas in botany, classification system was developed independently and the term division was used instead. It was kept like that. That's why kingdom Animalia is divided into phyla and kingdom Plantae is divided into divisions. Right? So this is also true. So here the answer is both statement 1 and 2 are true. This question is like direct lines from the textbook, first chapter. If you see, let's learn those lines from the textbook. From here it came. Let's learn. All animals belonging to various phyla are assigned to highest category called kingdom Animalia. Here he has written highest category. There in the question they have given broadest category. And the kingdom Plantae on the other hand is distinct and comprises all plants from various divisions. Plants from various divisions. Here various phyla. Henceforth we will refer to these two groups as animal and plant. The taxonomic categories from species to kingdom have been shown in ascending order starting with species. These are broad categories. However, taxonomists have also developed subcategories in this hierarchy to facilitate more sound and scientific placement of various taxa, which I have already told you. Look at the hierarchy in figure 1.1. Can you recall the basis of arrangement? Say for example, as we go higher from species to kingdom, number of common characteristics goes on decreasing. Species to kingdom, number of common characteristics goes on decreasing, similarities. And lower the taxa, more are the characteristics that the members within the taxon share. This is also I have already told you. Higher the category, greater is the difficulty of determining the relationship to other taxa at the same level. Hence, the problem of classification becomes more complex. This all I have already told you. From this directly, this question came. So, now I am leaving you with this quote. It's not failure that stops you. It's the constant self-doubt whispering that you are not good enough, you can't do it. Like this, some self-doubt always comes in your mind. Always remember that the only thing standing between you and your dream MBBS seat might be your own hesitation to believe in yourself. Always believe in yourself. Let go of the doubt, because doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Thank you.